In today's show, we have a multi-topic episode where first we discuss, is stealthy farting actually immoral? Then we discuss, should tourism be capped to protect local residents? And finally we discuss, is it illegal to actually be naked in your own home?
And now, the TNT Talk Show, daring to go where other podcasts fear to tread.
Hello, I'm Tony Fasulo, and I share the stage with my esteemed friend and colleague, Taya Boya. Taya, hello, my friend, once again. I hope you keep it safe and well. Go on, do it, say hello, yes! Didn't let you interrupt me this time. Those of you who are listening, Tayo is in hysterics away from the microphone. If you haven't caught on our last show, he jumped in before I could even say a thing, and he took the words out of my mouth. So I thought I'd get them in quick this time.
Talk about not being able to get a word in edgewise.
Anyways, say
anybody
hi to
just joining us for the first time is going to wonder this has been going on for 5 years now or something?
Over 5 years, yes.
Over 5 years. Okay, so anyway, hello audience. Thank you for joining us. Hello to someone or someones in Kirkuk.
Kirkuk, where's that?
Kirkuk is in Kirkuk in northern Iraq.
Oh, wow.
And it's got a strange coincidence with your mob, the Italians.
Really?
Yeah. Specifically with Rome. The coincidence is Rome was built on 7 hills.
Yes.
And so is Kirkuk.
Oh.
It's also another formerly capital city. I mean, Rome is still the capital city, I think. Yeah, but yes, Kirkuk was once the center of quite a meaningful empire. And it was built on 7 hills.
Wow, in Iraq. Wonderful.
By the way, there's a mound in Kirkuk.
Yeah.
There's a mound, I think it's 180 feet high or something. There's a mound there, which was built in 900 to 1000 BC.
Oh, wow.
And over those years, over the 3,000 years, it's been a monastery, an Islamic mosque. Well, all mosques are Islamic, and a synagogue.
Whoa.
Isn't that amazing?
It is. That is amazing.
Astonishing. So well done to you.
Yeah, our listeners in Iraq. Well,
yeah.
I don't know exactly whereabouts in Iraq.
Northern is like the Kurdish area of the north.
Oh, okay. Well, we get listeners from everywhere around the world at the moment, which is amazing, which is really nice to hear. And yes, please keep commenting, liking and subscribing to our show on whatever platform you happen to be consuming it on. And as you've seen, well, those of you that are watching it on a video channel, Tayo has an email address that we use, but I will read it out to you again. It is TNT Talkshow, no spaces, @mail.com. So if you want to suggest the topic, you want to have a go at Tayo, you want to say anything really, please get in touch and let us know. We always love your comments and feedback. So yes, please continue to do that.
Have I asked my question yet?
No, go on. You can do it quickly. Go on.
How many Jewish states do you think there are in the world?
Jewish states?
Yes.
Well, that's an interesting question. As I'm probably the dumbest person you could ask regarding this.
No, I didn't know this myself.
Oh, okay. Well, obviously, I only ever thought there was one, which is
the
state of Israel. There's two?
There's two. And the second one is older, by the way. And it is called...
Well, it would be older than this one's only been around since...
Well, it's only a few years older. It's only a few years older.
Go on.
This one is called the Jewish Autonomous Oblast. Oblast is a region,
Is
and
that Russia?
it is the Jewish
Wow.
Autonomous Oblast. It was created for Jews and was created in 1930. Where is it? Let me think. Gone. 1930 something or the other. I have the information right here. Yes. Just give me a very quick second here. There we go. 1934. It is 14,000 square miles, meaning it is 75% bigger than Israel.
Whoa, yes.
And yet it only has a very small proportion of the population is Jewish. There used to be more, but a lot of them have moved to Israel for reasons that I don't fully understand. So there we go. Who knew?
So there is a second state
Yep.
that is still welcoming to Jewish
Yes.
people?
Yep. It's theirs. It's autonomous. They could run the place if they wanted to. There's no problem. It's an autonomous region. Don't forget that Russia is a federation of republics, basically.
Yes.
So you've got two Buddhist republics, and at least one. I think it's Chechnya has at least one
It is.
Islamic republic. I think it's more than one, to be honest.
I think
And
it's more than one.
yeah, as long as you respect the federal, what is it, constitution and all that sort of thing, you don't have an issue. You run your affairs yourself.
Interesting. That's a bit of insightful information. Wasn't aware of that.
No.
I wonder whether many Jewish people are actually aware of that. I don't
I'd
know.
be very surprised if they weren't.
Okay, interesting. Anyway, let's move on with today's topic. And in fact, this is a multi-topic episode. So obviously, time permitting, of course, we'll see if we can get through as many topics as we can. And the first one is slightly amusing, but we'll see how it goes. The topic is stealthy farting immoral? Now, you might be thinking, why are they discussing something as ridiculous as this? But there are moral questions here as well. So, I mean, you came up with this suggestion, Ty. So, why did you want to actually talk about this one?
Because we were on a different show a few weeks ago, and the subject came up. And we were talking about evil. Pure.
Well, you termed it as evil.
Well, it is evil. So what happened, ladies and gentlemen, is that I was sitting in a, not to brag or anything, it's just fact. I was sitting alone in a carriage on a train. And a woman came
First
into
class carriage. Come on.
well, so I didn't want to say, but I was sitting in a carriage on a train, and a woman came into the carriage. And there were just the two of us in the entire carriage. And there's plenty of space, but she sat down opposite me, which is kind of weird because why would you do that? She sat down opposite me, and then a few moments later, I could hardly breathe. I was gagging, and I realized that this had actually let one loose. And it was, frankly, what is this? I mean, it's either the ultimate insult, because it is a little insulting, or as I prefer to think of it, a manifestation of demonic possession and pure evil. So what are you doing? And in those days, this was a long time, maybe 20 years ago. No, was it that long ago? No, maybe getting on a bit now, maybe about 15 years ago. I wasn't the rather truculent gentleman that I am today. I mean, today, if you did that, there's going to be issues, okay? People will be called, police, everything. I'm going to blame you of racism and all sorts of horrible things. I'm going to make your life miserable. You can't just come and sit and just what are you doing?
Okay, look, I've got to bring you up on this. How did you know that it was definitely her? Could it not have been?
Hey, it wasn't me.
No, I know it wasn't you.
I know,
Could
there's
it
two
have
of
come
us.
from the loo?
What loo? We're in the middle of the blooming carriage. Do you know those
So it
old?
smells
Do you know those?
waft,
No. Do you remember? Do you know this was This was a train going to Cardiff. I told you we were going to Cardiff out of Paddington. They still use those old British rail carriages.
Yeah.
And if you remember them, the first class is real low tables with sofas and things. So it's not nothing's going to come wafting in or anything. She came and she sat down at my table.
And then she farted.
And
Did
then she
she look
farted.
like she was all there?
I don't know. I mean, because my mind will, the way the mind works. I was watching a video just this evening about how your mind plays tricks on you.
Yeah.
So the way my mind works is that now that I've painted her in my memory as demonically possessed, she looks like an ape. I mean, obviously. So I have no, I have no idea.
Oh dear. See, this is what I mean. If it was 20 years ago, no disrespect, my friend and colleague, but your brain cells may not be as clear as they were when you were youthful, so you could have recalled it incorrectly. Maybe it was you that farted. And
What do you mean? Maybe it was me that I look, me and my ass, we got a good, close, healthy relationship. Nothing untoward. But I know what comes out of the and absolutely nothing is allowed to go in. I'll just let you know that for a fact. So it definitely wasn't me, and I wouldn't have been shocked. If it had been me, I'd have been like, lady, I just let one loose. You might want to keep traveling south. You know what I mean? You just got to be honest about it, but it wasn't me. So it was definitely her. I was stunned.
Did you at any point feel obligated to ask her, what are you doing? But were we just not confident enough to do that?
I wasn't confident enough. I was brain, my brain froze. I was just like, no, really? No. You spend like 5 minutes saying that, nah, she couldn't have. But you're looking around thinking to yourself, is this a gag or something? It's like, what?
There's no one else there, yeah.
What's going on?
Okay.
And the thing about it is like you're talking about, like brain damage. This is why silent farting should be outlawed. People ought to know if you drop one, you've got to sort of either announce or just let a loud one. Yeah.
Announce what you go, hey, it's me, hi. No.
Yeah. Do you know what I used to do on the train when I was commuting in London? Do you know what I used to do on the train? Maybe God was actually punishing me for what I did later.
Go on.
I used to fart and then look in disgust at anybody who was sleeping next to me. And everybody was...
That's even worse. That's even worse.
They'd smell it, look at me suspiciously, and when I'm looking at the other person, they go, really? I need to poor guy's asleep.
See, that's morally wrong purely because you're denying it was you. You're actually failing to act responsibly and actually blaming it on someone else. That's totally immoral,
Well,
and I get that.
Nobody else is taking what do you call it for it? Is taking the accountability for it. Why should I be the one to stick up? If other people start doing it, I'll start doing it too. I'll just be honest about it. Actually, I really wouldn't do it. I'd hold it in and manage it.
I mean, let's be honest, right? It is a natural thing. It is a natural thing. Okay?
But you're attacking everyone. You actually, this is
well, you don't know that,
lungs,
do you?
man.
You don't know that because let me give you an example, right? If you did fart in public accidentally, because it can happen, but it didn't smell. It's only the smell that is what creates the stress, I suppose, and the victim's perspective. They're smelling something. What's that? Yes. Yeah, from a victim's point of view. But if there's no smell, then no one's harmed, are they? So
well, we don't know that. I mean, lung cancer comes from somewhere.
So it's not the art of farting that's the issue. It's whether you're inflicting in a modicum level of damage, because a bad odor is I suppose you can cause it discomfort and damage to someone's nostrils. If that happens and you're the culprit, then that's immoral if you don't own up because you were the person that caused that discomfort. Would you say?
Well, I would say it's more than that. Look, if words can cause offense, seriously,
the words don't cause offense. It's your interpretation of the words.
But we can actually be imprisoned now in the UK for words that cause offense.
That's incorrect.
Really? How?
Because, right, there are certain bits of language that you cannot use.
Well, there we go. That's what I'm trying to say.
Especially for children and what have you. But offending somebody, see, that's a bit strange.
anyway,
because
the point being,
you
because I don't
choose
want to
to
get
affect.
us into a separate argument.
Yeah, yeah.
The point being that if words are even questionable, then a smell that makes you gag is I mean that spoils your day, makes it puts a bad taste in your mouth. You know,
Oh,
you feel
I get it. I get it.
uncomfortable.
If you're eating something and all of a sudden, oh, it ruins the
No,
food.
I don't want it because maybe because of the power of my imagination. I don't know, but what it is that he's just gone direct from your anus into my mouth. So I am not a happy camper here. Okay, okay. I'm not a happy camper. I'm not a happy camper.
But
You should keep
but
your anus out of my mouth, and I think that's a reasonable request. I'm
but
not. I'm not being
you can have.
unreasonable.
So all right, does it apply if someone's got halitosis and they're
Oh, sort
breathing
of,
badly
yeah,
to you?
sort of. But in in the case of halitosis, I generally speak up because the person might not know. Do you know the horrible thing about halitosis is that you're generally the last person to find out.
Indeed, that's true.
And I
Same as
think it's
body
just
odor. See, is that a crime?
body odor.
Yeah, is that a
But
crime?
no, I wouldn't call it a crime.
Why? It's
Well, because
affecting
it's not from
someone
the
else's smell.
it's not from the arse.
So you've only got you've
I got a hang
got
up
an
about
issue
someone
'cause
else's
it's the
arse. Yeah,
arse.
yeah. You gotta keep it out of I need to get this in my mouth, man.
It's Oh dear! I mean, look.
Good
It
enough,
doesn't.
man.
It's not. I don't think someone who's done that has done it intentionally. Now, the
No,
worst ones are the ones who literally, who do it intentionally. Majority of people, thankfully, don't. It can slip out, and then they're embarrassed. They're embarrassed. I
You see,
had.
what they think is they're going to get away with it. This is what they think. They let a silent one out, and they're hoping is like one of those ones, like you said, that doesn't smell. So they let it out. They let it out carefully. But when you're letting it out carefully, one of the things you got to keep in mind, and I'm being serious, one of the things you got to keep in mind is that if you're out and about in public, you're outside, it's on the street, and you let one out, hopefully, carefully, because there are accidents when it goes out more loudly than you thought. You let one loose, it's fresh air, it's gone. Right? The only
Okay.
time you're really trying to manage it is when you're in an enclosed space.
Okay.
So what was your plan B for if this thing is a stinker, especially if you get into a lift or what the Americans call an elevator? Right? And there are
Let's
two
not
things
get to
I
let
hate
one
about
go in there.
there are two things I hate about about lifts and elevators. Two things I hate is you're in the elevator and you drop one.
Okay.
But you know you're going to get out of the elevator, someone's going to get in. And to make matters worse, when he's on the third floor and people join him on the third floor, they think it was him. They have no idea there were some pots. So you start you start going, it wasn't me.
It wasn't me. It was
the
it
guy
when I came in. Oh dear!
It
I
can
mean,
really be
that's
supremely
happened.
embarrassing, man.
That's happened to me in a public toilet. Honestly, you sort of open you're looking for a cubicle and there's only one that's open, and so you open it and it's bad, and you're like, oh no, I can't go in here. So you step out and someone follows you. Because they see you come out and they go, oh, I'll go in, and they see you and they think, that guy just done that, and it wasn't me, Gov. I was just walked in there. So there are scenarios where you can get blamed.
For someone else, well, I used to do that to people on the train, so I know.
So okay, right, let's go back to this about take it from a moral point of view, right?
It's immoral.
Well, I suppose it is immoral. Yeah, because there's actually a term that they use, a utilitarianism. This is the consequentialist argument, okay? And basically, yeah, the idea behind this consequentialist argument is that it's based on your consequences of any actions that you perform. And the best action is the one that produces the greatest good or least harm for the greatest number of people, right? So, from a farter's perspective, they're relieving a physical discomfort. So that's a small increase in their personal happiness, because they've let this pressure out, so they feel a little bit relieved. Yeah. Now, as I said already, if the fart is silent and odorless, then no one's harmed. So
We
net
think.
result, the net result is positive, so it's okay, right? However, if the fart is smelly and there's a noticeable odor, you've caused discomfort now from your actions.
To a great number of people.
Yeah,
Possibly.
however many are in the vicinity. Yeah. So they are now, in loose terms, suffering in some way, because they go, "What the hell's that?" Yeah, so you can use the term suffering, although it's a very heavy-handed word. So that now outweighs the relief that the farter themselves had experienced in proportion to the other two or three or four people, because the farter has got a little bit of comfort, but the several people in the vicinity have got discomfort.
Yeah.
So the net effect is bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's immoral in that respect. However, what adds to it and makes it even worse is if there's a denial or silence, because now you've gone up a level, because that's now gone to a social level.
Well, everybody is smeared, so to speak.
Yeah.
And the level of suspicion and distrust, I would say not metaphysics, but in a sort of tongue-in-cheek kind of physics, the thermodynamic entropy has increased, but the social entropy has increased, because now people are going to step off, and do you know what's going to happen? People step off the train or wherever it is, and they carry that angst, okay, and discomfort with them, and then they spread it around. So where they would have said good morning before, they're cross, and then that spreads, and then just one fart, man, and it just blossoms out. But blossom is probably not the right word I'm looking for.
Have you seen the advert where
I don't watch adverts, so the answer is no.
Oh, okay. There was a brilliant advert, and it was a lady and her fiance, and they got in the car. He let her in the car, and he had to pop out. And he popped out. He goes, "Hold on, I'm just popping back to get my something or other." So she's in the car by herself. So she's like, "Oh, I can't hold this in." And she goes, "Brrr," and lets a big fart out. So he comes back and he goes, "Whew, bit of a smell in here." He goes, "Have you met my parents sit in the back?" So they were in the back seat all along.
Yikes.
Obviously, they hadn't said anything. I know.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So it was.
I think women suffer. See, so I look, when I said people should own up to it, I did it as an act of mercy. I'm saying it as an act of mercy, and I'm not the first one to have said it. Okay. Back in the days of the Roman Empire, I don't know which of the Caesars, but really back in the days of the Caesars and whatnot, in the Roman Empire, one Caesar, might have been Augustus, but I don't want to put my to bet on it or anything. One Caesar went to the Senate and said, "Let us allow farting to become normalized, because people are holding it in, they're suffering, the tummies are distended and all that sort of thing. Let's for the love of mercy, just say, look, it's okay. Just guys, I think let one loose." And I think, because when you think about it, for a long time, I thought women's biochemistry was different. Because when I was a young man and I was going out, with the girls, that sort of thing, they would never do anything in front of me.
No.
And I thought, wow, these guys, how lucky are they? I had no idea that they were holding the blooming thing in. Right?
Because they thought socially, social skills, you don't do it.
Obviously, I can't explain how come over the last 31 years I found out to my
horror.
Well, no, I've reality has set in, and so you guys actually do. I
think they get comfortable.
She's not
and
here
fart.
to protect herself, so I can't say anything, and I don't want to watch this episode later and go, "Well, what did you think you were doing?" So, I was saying. So let's just say that, yeah, I found out that, yeah, it's not quite like that. And maybe for their sake, we just say, look, it's okay. I don't know if they would. They
Well,
probably wouldn't. But if it was socially acceptable, it's just
it's
because
not
it's,
socially acceptable, is it really?
well, it could be if we all agreed to let it be socially acceptable. Because we
But you
because we all
wouldn't
do it.
want. But you wouldn't want. I mean, look. Okay, you could probably say, okay, if it's quiet, but you wouldn't want people to be openly, all right, and pooping and making the sound. That makes it worse.
Well, what do you mean by
Granted, it's
pooping
not
though?
as smelly, but making a fart sound, actually farting in the. Say you're in a meeting, all of a sudden, two or three of people all choose to let one go because we've accepted it as it's all right to
Well,
do.
then we open the window and it's fine. If we
Do
can't
you
open the
think it's
window.
all right while people are about to give a brilliant presentation, or we're doing an excellent episode of the
Brilliant.
TNT talk
The
show and we go,
brilliant. No, I like the idea of the brilliant. As I was saying,
yeah.
okay, it's the smell. I don't think it's the sound. I think they could carry on. But if it stank, then people be like, sorry, look, I'm sorry, Tori, but why does yours stink like that? Okay.
Well, this is what I mean. I don't think it is. It is socially
Could be an
acceptable to
HR
do.
issue after a while.
Well, yeah,
So
it
we
would
don't
be.
mind this. We don't mind the farting thing, but his is different, man. I mean, it's just different.
I mean,
It's just not all right.
we have got bodily functions, and that's why we have the loo. And
It's
but the thing is, people are even embarrassed in communal loos. You know the loos where you go in and there's several cubicles. You have to fart in there. Even in there, people are struggling. They don't want to make too much
I
noise. If
want to tell you a
it's
story.
go
I want to
on,
tell you a story. This was in Solihull when I was working in Solihull, and it was like the office communal, right? And for the first time in my life, my entire life, the first time, I had to ask the guy next door because I didn't know who it was. But the stink, right? I actually said, and I didn't, when you blurt something out and you don't even know it's coming, so
yeah.
you are surprised that your mouth is making those sounds. I was just like, what the fuck, man? What's the matter with you? And I instantly felt so mortified. I just like, you can't say that, man. You get fired. But it was just so outlandish. It was just, what is this? I mean, I'm in the mood too, but for fuck's sakes, man, there's a limit. Calibrate it, dude. What did you eat?
Oh
And
dear.
my actual thought, I'm not pretending. My actual thought was, you should see a doctor.
Oh really? Oh
No, it was. I mean, I remember this from 2015. So this is 10 years later.
gosh.
It
You
was
see,
horrible. I
well,
was like,
the thing,
what is
right?
that?
Some people have
Isn't there a
said,
disease like that, by the way?
um, I don't
Is it
know.
irritable bowel syndrome or something like that?
Irritable bowel
With
syndrome
the
means that you've
milk or
really got to
something.
go very, very quickly because you're going to have a problem if you don't go to the toilet ASAP. Yes.
Has it got something to do with milk products or
No,
something?
no, they don't know what it is. It's not. It's not really and you can put a finger on a cause. It's very, very difficult to diagnose IBS. Um, you just have to manage it, and different people are different. And once you get irritable bowel, you got irritable back. It could be caused by a multitude of things.
Wow.
So yeah, and it's lifelong apparently.
Wow.
Yeah, once you get it, it's very difficult to improve the situation. So yeah, some people do have that problem. But then shouldn't farting, which maybe it is, I don't know, but shouldn't farting be in the same realm as going for a number two when you go to the toilet? Should be, shouldn't it? You wouldn't do a number two in front of everybody.
You
You'd
didn't do number
take
one
yourself
either,
away.
would you?
No,
So you didn't do
exactly.
it.
This is what I mean. So farting shouldn't be socially acceptable. It should be.
Oh, I see where you're coming
Do you
from.
see what I'm saying? It should be taken to where it belongs, which is in a bathroom, in a cubicle or whatever it may be. So it shouldn't be acceptable. So yes, I'm actually agreeing with you. That lady who originally came
Oh,
into
she was
your,
demonic.
I wouldn't say that. Maybe she had a genuine problem because if she did have
I'd say.
IBS, no, think about that logically. If you've got IBS and you think, oh my God, I don't need the toilet, but I have to let off a fart, it's better to let off a fart than really get struggled pain.
We're at my table.
Well, yeah, that's a separate topic. I mean, why
in
did
an
she do that?
empty, in an
She should have
empty.
gone to the furthest corner of the carriage
Yeah.
and sat down, and then perhaps, it would have been a little less conspicuous.
Do you know, now that you put it like that, I'm thinking to myself. On the other hand, because sometimes when we're talking, I start off with one point of view, and then we talk about it, we laugh a bit, then I start thinking to myself, well, on the other hand, seriously, I bet like me, like everyone probably on the planet, you've held it in and you've regretted it because trapped wind is very painful,
Oh, it is, yes. Indeed.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, sorry for the people around me, but life's like that, okay? Bada boom, bada bing, ups and downs, swings and roundabouts. Okay, my discomforts, because it could be long term. I mean, when you get cramps because you held it in, when you
Yeah.
get cramps, that's not funny.
No, it's not funny. Not at
So
all.
I don't know if we can make it and say we're going to put it on the same level as a number one or number two, because actually it can be very painful.
Yeah.
And if you keep it in for too long, it can actually cause
But
dire
you should
issues,
then
I think.
but then you should take yourself away. Like if you needed
You
to
might
go
not be
for a
able to. You
number
might be on a
one,
plane, or something.
well, it doesn't matter. Even on a plane, if you
With the
need number
safety
one or
belt,
number two.
with the safety seat belt sign on.
Do you know what? I have to tell a true story. It happened to me when I was actually in India. I was working in India, and I was really good. Obviously my stomach was a bit delicate back then, but when I went to India, I was being careful not to eat the wrong foods, drink the wrong drinks. But the day before I had to fly back, I got the worst diarrhea that you can
Wow.
imagine. So anyway, the plane where we were flying from, we were from Mumbai to Delhi, and the plane was sort of taking time to go up.
Mm.
And I'm sitting there and my stomach's going brr, brr. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm not going to last here. This is not good. This is not good. And the seatbelt sign was still on, and the plane had gone up and it hadn't leveled, or it was just about to level, and the seatbelt sign was still on. So I had to undo it. And I went, I've got to go. So I got up and literally walked up, and the stewardess goes, "Sir, go back to your seat. The captain hasn't turned off the seatbelt sign." I said, "Listen, lady, I'm really sorry, but either you're going to clean the mess in my pants or the seat, or I get to this toilet." And so she goes, "All right then." And she let me go.
Yeah, good point. Off you go, mate.
It was not good. It was not good.
Yikes.
But yeah, let's bring back to the topic of stealthy farting immoral. Number
Well, we
one, I
know
don't
it
think
is.
we should do it. That we shouldn't fart stealthily, because you wouldn't want to fart noisily, because that's embarrassing as well, because people will hear it. But if you're stealthy farting, then nobody hears it, but they can smell it. You're taking a risk not to make a sound and hoping it doesn't smell, where 9 times out of 10 it will smell. So if you feel a fart coming on, I say we should go to the toilet. You go, treat it like it was a number one or a number two. I need to go to the loo. I'm not farting here. It's not right. And then, even if you did, it's dishonest if you don't own up to it. If you do let one go, you should apologise. Look, I'm really sorry. I got a dodgy tum.
I'm going to see.
You'd
Do you know
accept
what?
that a bit
I'm going
better.
to see if that works. I'm actually going to see if that works. Next time I fart in public, I'm going to own up to it. Sorry, guys. And then I'll come back and tell the audience, I'll tell you on the audience. I'm going to do that.
Okay.
Social experiment. I'll put myself out there and see what happens. I think I have a funny feeling that I'll actually feel okay about it.
Yeah. If you own up to it and you're not being dishonest. See, that's a moral issue, because it can happen. Accidents happen. You say,
What
"Look,
about
I'm
the
really
second
sorry."
time, though?
Well,
The first time, people be like,
yeah,
yeah, it
first, I'm
happened
really
to us.
sorry. I've
The
got a bit
second
of a
time, I go
dodgy
like,
tongue.
dude, what the I mean, we don't want to hear it, man. Whatever your flipping problem is, take it and leave, man, okay? I mean, we have a right to breathe, man. We don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear it. Sorry, I don't want to hear anything, okay? Go on, pal.
Oh, right. Oh, come on, we need to wrap up because I want to get onto more topics. So,
No,
what's
we've
your?
said it. We said it. It's immoral. It's
It's
immoral.
immoral. Yeah. Okay. I have to
When we
agree.
started out, I did it tongue in cheek, but actually, it's immoral.
It is
So it's
immoral.
surprising outcome that what started out as a bit of a laugh and everything, we
Yeah.
thought about it, and it's like actually, it's immoral.
I mean, farting where other people are around, it's socially wrong.
Mm,
You're affecting other people unduly.
for sure.
Okay, granted, in the scale of things, it's small, but it's still. And also, there's an example here. If you don't own up to it, or in fact, even worse, you blame someone else. I know some people have done it when there's been dogs around. Oh, it's the dog, stupid dog. So you're not taking ownership of it. That's almost a low level action that can manifest itself in other areas which aren't low level. So if you're doing it with something as lowly as a fart, then are you going to do that when you encounter more serious things? So it's a character flaw. So really you should own up to it, to be honest. So yeah, there we go. Okay, that one's done. Let's move on to another one. And this one is, should tourism be capped to protect locals? Do you want to, again, this is one of yours, Ty. Why did you want to bring this one up?
Oh, because of you.
Because of me?
I was watching the video, and it was about Spanish people, falling out of the tree and doing their nut, and said, "What is it with these freaking locals, man?" I was just laughing to myself. I said, "I actually know, no, not locals. What is it with these freaking terrorists?" I was like, "I actually know someone who's a terrorist who's always hopping around and going off to Spain and Portugal and all these other places." And I thought to myself, "This is probably Tony's fault, man. I'm sure of it." Apparently it's really messing up the economy in a way and this and that. But it felt a bit artificial to me because they make so much money off the blooming thing that if it's just been badly handled by the government, to be honest, if all that money is rolling in and the government isn't using it to create more housing, whose fault is that?
Yeah, it's the government, not the
It's the
tourists.
government's fault, not the tourists. I mean, aren't you glad that they're bringing in all that money?
I know.
Because I bet if the tourists just said, "Okay, we're not coming to Spain anymore," they'll be the first ones saying, "What the hell, man? What happened? Where are you guys?"
Well, look, I can't quite understand this logic, to be fair. I mean, you rightly say, I do like my holidays. I like to travel, and I do go all over Europe and even further. Less so these days, but yes, I did travel the world. But I brought my wealth to there. I
Exactly.
would sightsee, I would spend my money in wherever I was, and I enjoyed looking at different cultures and things like that. So I dare say I'm not the only tourist that does that. They want to see things that we don't see back home in the UK, for
There's
instance.
an entire industry worldwide. I mean,
It is.
in suitable places
Yeah.
that makes billions
Billions, yeah,
of
tourism.
pounds
And
of tourism.
a lot of people, a lot of countries rely on it wholeheartedly.
Exactly.
That's their only means of survival, by hoping tourists come in and spend their hard-earned money in their environment, and so creates jobs, creates tourism, creates sightseeing tours, creates restaurants, creates. So it's a win-win situation.
It ought to be a win-win.
Yeah, but I do get the case where there's over tourism. I actually get that, because it's probably not good for the tourists themselves. I can actually cite an example of that for myself, that I've experienced that very same thing, where I was actually affected by over tourism. And this was on a Greek island called Santorini.
Oh, the explosion.
Yeah,
The
it's a
the
volcanic
volcano
island, it was. Yeah,
thing.
exactly. Beautiful island. I mean, the food, fantastic. People are lovely. The place is gorgeous. However, it's famous for sunsets. You can get and see one of the most amazing sunsets from there. And what they do is
What time of the year?
any time of the
Really?
year, really. Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Wow.
Phenomenal. So, yeah. And the point is, when we went, we saw some terrific sunsets, but we were near the sea, obviously, and the sea is then covered with boats. Because there's a boat industry now which takes tourists so they can get a bird's eye view of the sunset, which is strange, but uninterrupted view of the sunset. But now there's so many boats out there that they're going further and further out to try and get an uninterrupted look at this sunset. And it is spectacular. You get the yellows, the reds. It is spectacular sunset. Beautiful. But it is too touristy. Because we went to this place where I don't know if you've seen I'm probably selling more tourism for Santorini, but they're these blue topped houses. So they're white and they're blue at the top, and they're a bit iconic Greek houses. So it resembles the flag because they've got blue and white in the flag. The roofs are blue, the buildings are white, and it looks beautiful when the sun is setting in the background. It literally is idyllic. But these places where you can see the view and see the sunset coming through the buildings, there's only a certain amount of gap that you can get your photo. And we turned up there and they said, there's a 45-minute queue just to take one photo of the sunset. They didn't want to make the queue any bigger because then the sun would have gone down.
Right.
So it was packed.
Wow. Well, maybe you went in tourist season or something.
We went in October last year.
Wow.
Exactly. So, and there's still warm and still sunset. So, yeah, it wasn't that touristy, but we thought, unfortunately, it was. So,
that's amazing.
It was amazing. And you know, I'm not knocking the island. The island itself, fantastic. As I said, food, amazing. Holiday was lovely. But when we wanted to do certain things, when the sun was setting, the sea was covered in boats.
Wow.
It was just crazy for that few minutes.
I've seen pictures of places like that. I've wondered if I wanted to go. I'm not really sure. I don't know. But I do know that I think you mentioned, you showed me pictures of some place, and what really hit me, this was, again, in the Mediterranean somewhere that you went, and you showed me pictures. And what I thought to myself instantly was, oh my God, all those stairs. All those steps.
Where did I go?
And it was whitewashed buildings and whatever, but there were steps everywhere, man. It was like you couldn't get from A to B without some flipping steps. I was like, that's not going to work for me.
No. I mean, that was in Madeira. Madeira in Portugal is
that's Portugal, was it?
Well, Madeira is an island that belongs to Portugal.
But again, you went again this year?
Went this year, yeah.
When you showed me this like last year, I'm talking about.
Oh, wonder where that was then.
This is Tony. He goes off so many places. This is what I'm talking about. Too much terrorism. Do you see what I'm talking about, man? Exactly what we're talking about here. Anyway, frankly, I think terrorism is okay, but local governments are ridiculous, okay? The lust for money makes them do bad things. For example, it shouldn't be possible for terrorists to come and buy houses because that changes the economy out just completely. And then they come in and, I love this place, I love this, and they buy a house. Well, that's one local that doesn't have a house anymore.
Indeed.
And by the way, you're not there all the time.
Yeah.
So, well, apart from that, you're not even there all the time.
Yeah.
My wife's friend has got a patch, she's got a villa now or something in France.
Yeah.
Which is only there like 6 weeks a year. So what's a villa doing for the rest of the year? But because she's top cardiologist or something, I forget what she can afford to do it. She can afford it. But it's just empty. I don't know if she's in B&B with her. She's very fastidious, so I really doubt it. She wouldn't want other people there. So it's just standing there. It shouldn't be allowed, is what I'm trying to say. If governments look after their people, it wouldn't be a problem. Agreed. Come, enjoy the place, stay in a hotel, whatever it is, and then, if you don't mind my saying so, bugger off, and we'll see you next year. And let the people, live in their town, basically.
Yeah, there are ways and means of controlling.
Of course,
not controlling the tourism, but
managing,
actually managing it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, the quality of life for the residents who actually live in a lot of these places, obviously that's affected, and that can't be good for them. But then they have a choice to stay or go. Again,
But
everyone
why
has
should
a
they have to
choice.
go? They were
They
born
shouldn't
there.
have
They
to
grew
go.
up. They shouldn't have to go.
But the tourism is supposed to bring money into where they live, and it should raise the standard of living for everybody, including them. But you're right, housing is one of the biggest problems, because if you allow tourism in is one thing, but you shouldn't, or you if you should, if tourists want to buy, it's not that you prevent them, you should put levies on them. And if that levy, if they still continue to buy at inflated prices because they're a tourist, that additional amount should then be fed directly back to the local residents to improve their situation and ensure that they can afford local housing as well. It's the local governments, as you rightly say, are not doing enough for the local residents. They're just taking in the money.
Just taking in
Yeah,
the money.
yeah,
I think I
yeah.
like the Norwegian model, which is that if you want to go there and you're not going to buy a house, you're going to build one.
Oh,
And they're
so
going
you
to help
don't
you, by the way.
buy.
They're going to give you some money to help. But you are essentially going to build your own house.
Oh,
And I
that's
think that's
interesting.
fantastic. I think that's fantastic. Because that way you're not taking away from people who are already there. You're adding to
Yes,
it.
yes.
And you do get a reasonable handout to help, but you're going to put more money in though.
Yeah.
You're going to end
Because
up spending money.
I'd heard that there were some places, and I can't escapes me where the places are, that were going to do things like that. Not
Italy,
direct.
Italy
Well,
is big. Italy
Italy's
can buy a place for £1, but you're going to spend £20,000, 30, whatever it is, doing the place up.
yeah, you got to do it up because they'll give you a derelict place for £1, but you
Hmm.
have to live there.
And then yeah, and then you have to live there.
You
I
have to
think
live there.
Switzerland. Was this Switzerland or Sweden? Where are the Alps?
Alps in Switzerland and Italy
Switzerland.
as well. Yeah, both
Okay,
Italy and
so I think it's
Switzerland. Yeah,
Switzerland.
yeah.
They're happy to have you, but you have to be a certain age.
Yeah.
So old fogies like us are not welcome. You have to be a certain age, and hopefully, I think you got kids. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to repopulate.
Yes, because the
So you
population
go
is.
there and you live, but you have to live there. You know, and
I mean, a lot of countries do that. If you want to come and buy a property here, so you avoid the tax, you got to live here. That's what they say. You got to make it your permanent residence. So then you can buy a house there. So no one's going to stop you, but they've got to live there. You can't rent it out. You can't make it. Sorry to Airbnb, but you can't make it an
that is the
Airbnb.
problem. I think that is the main problem that a lot of people are complaining about. And then when you lease it to people, you're actually leasing to people who are not there permanently themselves.
No.
So everybody's transit. There's,
Yeah.
there's no community anymore. Basically, we just nuked the community.
Because they've
Yeah,
got something that everybody wants to see.
yeah.
Tourism wants to go there. So you're putting up all these tourists because there's not enough hotels. Airbnb has blossomed. But people are thinking, oh, I can make money here. I've got a house here. I don't need to live there. I'll rent it out just for a few weeks a year. I'll make all my money. And that's what happens. And people are buying property to make them Airbnb, which then takes it away from the local residents.
Yeah,
And it
yeah.
inflates the prices of all the properties there anyway. So the locals who aren't earning anywhere near as much as the foreign people will never be able to afford a house. This is what I'm saying about this idea that one of the countries, I can't remember which one it was it Italy maybe, where they said you can buy a house here, and yes, you can make it your permanent residence if you live here. If you want to buy another one, then you have to buy two. The idea being one you can rent and one has to go to some of the locals.
Oh,
So
nice.
so they're basically saying it's a 1-for-1 ratio. You can buy a house, but you can't buy a single. You have to buy at least two in pairs. One that you can use as whatever, and the other one has to go affordable homing to someone who's local.
That's nice. But a lot of people can't afford that, I suppose. But if those who can, it's
Those who
okay.
can, yeah. If you're going to invest in a location, you think, oh, actually, that's a good place to invest in. I wouldn't mind buying, several properties there. Okay, cool. Buy yourself 10 properties, but you're going to have to buy 20. If you can afford to do it, you buy 10 for yourself that you can rent out, which is fine. The local government, are happy with that. But you've now homed or
That
housed,
is
sorry,
that is
10
brilliant.
other
That's actually I think
people.
that's brilliant.
It then
Very
it's
clever.
allowed. Then you're
Yeah,
allowed. But you can't
yeah.
just buy it for your own self only, which I
Nice,
think is fair if you do it that way.
nice, clever. I like it.
But going back to the tourism, should it be capped? So basically, I mean, some cities now, you have to pay a city tax. Do you know
I
about
didn't know
this?
that. No.
Yeah. Rome has one. So, for instance, you go to Rome, every hotel charges its residents a daily tax. It's only €3 or €4 for staying in the hotel, and that is then sent to the local Rome
Council, if you like.
council,
Yeah.
so that they can then reinvest that
Municipality, or whatever they
money.
call it.
Yeah, to look after the monuments, to look after the
All right, all
sightseeing
right.
things. So the tourists are paying this extra little tax that they pay on the spot. So you don't get it on your hotel. You pay when you arrive in the hotel. And that is an additional tax for staying in the city. And that goes to the principality or municipal, whatever it's called.
Yeah, municipality, yeah.
Edinburgh is now bringing something in the same, because they want their, the sightseeing bits looked after, and the local government can't
That's a
afford
bit
it.
difficult then. I've got issues with that because we're all British. Why am I paying tax to you if I'm British too?
If you're
In
entering
Edinburgh.
the city and you're staying in a hotel,
Yeah, well, that's ridiculous. I mean, I'm British. It's British property. This is His Majesty's property, isn't it? Is it not property? It's His Majesty's realm. I shouldn't be taxed because I'm moving from one part of his realm to another part of his realm. That's ridiculous.
I don't know how they're going to police that.
Foreigners, I can understand because
Maybe if you're staying in a hotel, though, it's
yeah, I
a
can stay in
city
a hotel
tax.
because I'm moving around His Majesty's realm.
Yeah, but if you're on a road, what about if you're paying a poll tax on a road, whatever it's called? What do you
Well,
call it? A toll?
because they built the road so that it's more convenient for me, like the M6 toll, whatever it is,
Toll road.
bypass.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which is
but
ridiculous.
if you want to stay in the city, you can stay outside the city. It's like a catchment area. If you stay within the centre and you stay in any of those hotels, you've got to pay a city tax. Then your choice now. That's got to be paid. You stay outside.
Look, all this tax thing's we've got to revisit it. Why are they taxing dead people? I think that was the question I was going to ask. Oh, I've just asked it. Damn it. Anyway, hopefully people would have forgotten by the time I ask it next time. Anyway, are we through with this one? Because I don't think we've got time anymore.
Yes,
have
I
we?
know. Time is moving on fast. So, what's your conclusion? Should it be capped for to stop tourist suffering?
No, it shouldn't be. But what should happen is that local governments should manage tourism better. They actually have the power, and you've just now given us a fantastic idea of how you can look after investments in the area. Well, okay, if you're going to buy a house for yourself, buy one for a local. Well, you do that kind of thing, it'll be fine. But you can't just keep pocketing the money and buying champagne. Every time you have a meeting or something, everybody else is suffering. It's ridiculous.
Indeed. Cool. I'm of agreement. No capping, but certainly better management. There
Well,
is
you would.
ways
I
and
mean,
means
let's be
to do it.
serious. You're not going to.
Right, we've got a few minutes left, and we can discuss this last one. And this is it illegal to be naked in your own home?
Yeah.
This is
So what
another one
happened
of
here
yours.
was, yes,
Go
what
on.
happened was a woman, a DoorDash employee in America, this is.
Explain what DoorDash is for some
DoorDash
people.
is when you deliver food for outlets, for food outlets, for restaurants and takeaways and
So
things
we've
like
got
that.
equivalent here of Just Eat, Uber Eats.
All right, Uber
Deliveroo,
Eats and okay.
Deliveroo. Equivalent, yeah.
I thought DoorDash was worldwide. I had no idea we didn't have it here.
No, I don't think we've got it.
All right. Okay. So, yeah, exactly as Tony has said. So, this woman was contracted to take food from point A to deliver to point B. So, point B, she got there. Now, it gets a bit fuzzy, but people who have seen the entire video claim that the door was open a crack. But the instructions were the front door of this person's house was open a crack, and her instructions were to leave the food outside. Right? So you can speculate that the guy cracked the door open so he would know when she arrived, so he could get his food, and that's it. Whatever, Well, we don't know because the video has since been taken down. The video was on TikTok, has since been taken down. So what people who saw the original said is that she arrived, saw the door was open a crack, pushed open the door fully, and saw this guy naked asleep on his couch. Then she took out her phone and took a video of him, left, put the video on TikTok, and then claimed that she had been sexually abused, harassed because he was naked. And the DoorDash people fired her. And when she reported her sexual harassment to the police, they refused to take the matter any further. So I brought this to you and I said, do you think that it's illegal to be naked in your own home if you can be seen from outside? And I did some research before I spoke to Tony, and it's an interesting case that in the UK, the answer is it depends. That's the answer, right? If you are in your home and you're naked, but you are not trying to be naked so that people see you, you're just naked. Maybe the curtains are drawn or whatever it is. It's clear that you were just living your life at home. That's perfectly all right. However, if you're trying to flash people on purpose,
on your front window
then that is not okay. That would then be classed as public obscenity. So I think even though that's the law in UK, I still think that we got to ask ourselves that isn't Englishman's home his castle? I mean, it's kind of like your fault for looking. On the one hand, on the other hand, if the guy's trying to draw attention, what if he's banging a drum to call your attention? Or why am I saying he? What about if she's banging a drum and she's trying to call your attention, and then when you look, she's going like, "Yee!" like that,
That happens all the time. I'm
where
enjoying the scene.
maybe years, maybe around your. Should I tell them where you live so people come around?
No, not in my area. I'm sure it's someplace called Wootton in Northampton, but no.
What the?
No,
Certainly not.
No, but you know that there's situations where people have been caught short. For instance, it's happened where you've been in the shower, doorbell goes, you're like, oh no, so you rush down and the towel comes off and you've opened the front door.
That has never happened to me.
No, I know, but it's happened to some people. Now, what happens there? Are you purposely exposing yourself to the person that's rung the doorbell? Have you? I mean, it's been comedic. That's appeared in comedy sketches up and down the country over the years.
I find it very hard to imagine how that's possible. You don't open the door until you're
fully covered up.
Yeah, I think it's more a case of one of the kids left the door off the latch. And no, not even a kid. Somebody left the door off the latch and left the house. You used to, okay, no one's here after 11 o'clock. It's 11:30, and I know that the house is going to be empty for the next 6 hours. So I'm walking around naked and everything. She left the door open off the latch. The wind blows open, and then you just find a bunch of fishes going, God. oh.
But it has been known that's happened where people haven't got curtains, for instance, where they have only got, the nets. They just have the curtains.
Yeah.
So they forget that if you put the light on inside and it gets dark outside, they can see inside the room. And so if you're naked, and you don't know that the people are looking, but people can see you from the outside. So it can work in those scenarios. However, as you say, if that's just you walking around in your own private residence, then that's not breaking the law. But if you're purposely walking up to the window naked and jiggling your bits in front of the window, that's not classed as being in your own house doing your own thing.
I think the secret there is that you're calling attention to yourself.
Yes.
And possibly it's a good idea to keep that law, because there might be red light districts otherwise where people will take advantage of it.
Indeed, because they're saying, well, I'm in my house, I can show myself having sexual intercourse in front of my window, which is no, but you see what I mean? That's what
exactly.
happens in
but we're talking about nudity and not like
no, but do you see what I mean? That they could do, because that is what actually happens in some areas within Amsterdam, where there's people in the front window of the houses in those areas that you walk past, and they're advertising their wares. They're trying to entice you to come in. So they're in the window and they're parading in all different manner of clothing and weird stuff. And it's very, very strange, but they're allowed to do it within that area because it's part of the tourism.
Yikes. The tourism again.
It is, yes. It is. But it's permitted in that area because that's where it's ring fenced. But you wouldn't want that to happen everywhere. So you're right. The law is there to protect the general population, and it should remain because, yes, you can be naked in your house. You can even be naked in your garden. But if people can stare at you, say you're sunbathing, you've got the fence around your garden and you're sunbathing naked in your garden. But unbeknown to you, a neighbour 3 or 4 doors away has got binoculars and is looking into your garden. Now, that's your property. You're not purposely you're flaunting, drawing attention to yourself. You're just, say, sunbathing in the garden, for argument's sake. Or you've got an outdoor little paddling pool, so you want to be naked there. But you've got high fence, so no one can see in. But it just so happens a house a few doors away can see in, but with binoculars.
I think he's got issue. I think he or she who did that, if they said something, they'd be in trouble because I believe that's peeping Tomery.
Yeah, it is.
Because you're actually using artificial
aid. They're allowed to look
aid.
out their window and see what they want. But
but you're using artificial enhancement now, so that would be a bit. That's me making it up on the spot. I don't know whether.
No, I think you're right. If you're doing it with your eyes and there's nothing to see, but then again, you could be a neighbour and 2 doors away and have good eyesight and go, oh, and be a bit shocked.
I don't know how old you were back in the summer of '76. Does it? When I say the summer of '76, does that do anything to you? Does that?
It was the hottest summer on.
But does it make you smile? Does it give you warm, fuzzy feeling?
Well, I was a young man, and I was. Yeah,
it was a great year. Let's put it like that. Yes. So we were living in someplace outside of London. I can't remember the name of the place now. And there was this absolutely good. My memory. I mean, I was a young man, so who knows? I'm quite gauche. But she would have been like in her early 20s or something like that, married woman, but she was stunning. And she used to wear these blooming hot pants, really hot pants, you know what I mean? With a clingy top and everything. And she would freaking sunbathe, man. And I could look out from my window and see her sunbathing. And I was at an age where that sort of thing was, whoa. I don't know if she knew. I mean, she might have known, but I spent many pleasant.
You see, that's not a public order offence if she's not naked.
No, she wasn't. She wasn't even naked. No. I mean, you should be naked.
But it was close enough because the clothes were
messy. I think around mine, but it was like whoa. And then a few years ago, I can't remember when, maybe before 2020, when these things, what are they called now? Drones became a thing. When they started becoming a thing, there was a woman, wasn't it, in New York or something, who was sunbathing on her rooftop. And she was captured, so al fresco, so to speak. Right. And there was a double case. It was a double whammy case where there were 2 complaints. She was demanding privacy. Why the hell did you take this video of me? I have rights to thingy. And the other people were like, well, why the hell are you naked on your rooftop? Now, I don't know how it was resolved, but that's an interesting problem that who's right,
Well, there's something strange there that you need to be aware of. Even though you own your house, you don't own the air above your house.
Right, okay. But that's America, though. I don't know.
It's in the UK as well. So
no, I'm saying it's happening in America.
Don't know. That's a grey area, but yeah, you don't own the area above your house. I think you own up to 6 to 8 feet above your house. That's it. Right. So anything above that is free space for drones, for instance. You can't do a thing about it.
Your roof basically isn't private space.
No.
It's kind of public.
Yeah, it is.
But so is your garden from that point of view, in my opinion.
Well, anyway. Right, well,
Anyway.
we've got to the end of the show here. We've gone over for a bit, but in conclusion then, what do you think? Is it illegal to be naked in your own home?
Could be.
Could be.
It's not a yes or no thing. It could be. It might be. You have to be careful.
Indeed, indeed. If you've loved this episode, please hit subscribe and stay tuned for more deep dives into prophecies, mysteries, and the unexplained twists of fate. You've listened to Tony and Tyre, and we are the TNT Talk Show, but unfortunately we have reached the end of the show for another week.